Kia ora koutou, no mai haere mai, and welcome to Frogs on Friday, New Zealand's employment market update. On today's show, we're looking at the impact of the rising cost of living and how that it's affecting Kiwis and their career ambitions. We look back at a conversation from our recent Thrive in 2025 NZ market update to discuss how the rising cost of living has really been reshaping job seekers' priorities in 2024 and what we can expect for the year ahead. Also on today's show, we'll talk about, does being friends with your boss make you happier at work? Guess it kind of depends on the boss a little bit. We'll go through some of the hot jobs across New Zealand, as well as opportunities for working holiday makers in Australia and the UK. And we'll finish off with social media insights, focusing on if Kiwis are making enough of a fuss about their working conditions. So let's start off with Mahi Media. Well, we thought we'd go for a bit of a lighter topic on Mahi Media this week. So we're talking about whether being mates with your boss is a good thing or a bad thing. Now, it was a toss-up between this and another topic relating to happiness at work, talking about the Kiwi sex toy brand 𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐬 offering paid breaks to pamper yourself in whatever way pleases you most. So we have, in the end, stuck with the pros and cons of being chummy with your boss, and we definitely don't want to get those two topics confused. So we asked Kiwi Kaimahi if being friends with their boss made them happier at work, and the majority, I was quite surprised to see 46% said, no, actually it's best to keep clear boundaries. Now, Gen Z were more open to the idea than our 50-plus age group, but there was a bit of a caveat to that, so only if their manager was also Gen Z. So having strong relationships at work is really important for workplace satisfaction and well-being, but I guess there's some more complex dynamics in play when it comes to befriending your boss. So things like it can actually create some disharmony within the team if they play favorites, or it's perceived that they have favorites within the team. It can be really hard to manage separating the friendship from business relationships. And of course, we have the oversharers. You all know who you are. But I would like to say on behalf of all the managers out there, it can be a little bit lonely being the boss, so please be friends. But just know that there's a few extra lines in the sand to be aware of. Let's take a look now at our hot jobs. Okay, so first off, we have a permanent role. This is actually one that I'm running, a people and culture advisor. It's based in the CBD here in Auckland, paying between a base of 90 up to 110K. And for this one, they're looking for, it is working with a government agency, and it's one of the smaller sized agencies, so quite a close-knit team that you'll be working with there. So they're looking for someone who has solid experience working as a generalist, so can cover all areas, including things like ER, learning and development, and business as usual functions. And a key thing is to be able to contribute to that strong workplace culture, or actually to continue that going strong. If this sounds like you and you're in the lookout for a new opportunity, get in touch with me to find out more. Okay, and another role for NZ this week is an accountant position. This one's based in Wellington, paying up to 90,000. So it looks like well, actually a mix of different responsibilities. So some financial accounting, GST returns, as well as payroll and tax returns. And you will need a solid background from a CA firm. And also exposure to Xero would be beneficial for this role. If you're interested in this, get in touch with Mark Smith to find out more. Okay, so let's take a look at some of our jobs across Australia and the UK. So again, just a selection of the many roles on offer there. So there's a course coordinator based in ACT in Australia, probably Canberra, a sales coordinator in Brisbane, that's a permanent position, and always love to mix up the jobs in London. And a very happy second birthday to our London team as well. So they have a Part 2 architectural assistant role on offer at the moment as well. So as always, get in touch with the team here or any of our teams across the people-to-people group, and we'll be happy to welcome you as you make your journey. So what impact is the rising cost of living having on Kiwis and their career ambitions? So, of course, you'll all know about cost of living crisis. So in the latest report released by Stats NZ, it showed that there were currently 220,900 Kiwi workers who were working multiple jobs to meet cost of living pressures. And that's up 18% from 2019. And I guess furthermore from that, 20% of those employed workers stated that they were wanting to switch jobs in order to get a pay rise. So how has this affected employee priorities this year, and what will it look like moving forwards? Are workers now prioritising the cost of living over career progression? Looks like Kirsty's got the answers here. Have you seen job seekers compromising on career advancement opportunities this year, maybe taking a lower paying job that they're perhaps overqualified for due to current economic pressures?
Yes, definitely. I think we've definitely seen job seekers trying anyway. So I'm sure everyone that's been putting out adverts and looking to hire new staff this year have experienced the extreme amount of job application numbers, and I think a lot of people are doing a little bit of that scatter applying and just hoping that they can get something to stick. So we're definitely seeing people who do have quite a lot of senior experience or more experience in the market, and because that level is quite saturated, they are looking to take a little bit of a step back or take a lower salary banding just so that they can get a position in this market. Obviously, one of the things where we're probably seeing that they're not maybe being offered those positions is obviously for a business, it's a bit of a risk taking someone into those roles. So I think we've probably seen it more so on that temporary and fixed term contract because it works for both parties. But yeah, I would definitely say that we have seen people looking at taking other opportunities that are maybe not in line with where they're looking to go career progression wise.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been more of a thing for this year. Now, you talked about perhaps employers not wanting to take that option or that being a risk. How does that impact employers in the hiring process?
So I'd probably say it's impacting in the hiring process because it's taking a little bit longer, to be honest with you, because they've got because you've got a lot more people who are applying to these positions, it's taking longer for you to actually go through all of the applicants that are coming through for your roles. Also, I'd probably say we've definitely heard it, especially in the last couple of weeks, where you're managing to find the right people for the position after going through your 300 applicants, but then so are other people. So you are still getting that the counter offers as such from other businesses. So the people who are wanted in the market, or there's still a little bit of a need within those spaces, they are actually being snapped up. So I think for hiring managers, it is meaning that they are finding it a little bit more difficult to get the person quickly and be able to go through that process quickly.
Yeah, and I guess it is a risk for employers. So it might be tempting to go, oh, I'm going to get more bang for my buck here. Here's someone who's really experienced, and they're willing to come in at a perhaps lower level than usual. But the risk that comes with that is when the market turns, are they going to stick around, or will be on the lookout for something that more matches their career trajectory? Well, that was a big word for the day. I guess back to the job seeker or employer side, employee side, are there any potential long-term impacts that opting for, say, short-term job solutions, or just getting in there and securing something in this tough market now, might have on their long-term career prospects?
I've actually had this question a few times. Because of the recent market. So people looking at temporary opportunities and looking to take that step back, will having short-term tenure on their CV have an effect? And obviously taking that position down, will that have an effect? I think we're kind of in a similar market to an extent to what we're experiencing during COVID. So I think across the board, businesses do understand that we're in a very hard market at the moment. We're in a market where there's not quite as many jobs to how many people are looking for positions at the moment. So I think as long as when we do see that turnaround and we do see those positions coming available again that do match that next step in your career journey, that you can just explain the situation to them, that instead of sitting at home looking to wait out to get the job that you were looking for that career progression, because then you would have had a big gap on your CV, you've actually looked to just jump into something just to keep your experience going. You may not be learning something at this level, but sometimes you're getting involved in a project, or you're finding out about a new business and their processes. So you are able to take that skill set that you learn within another organization across with you as well. So there's definitely benefits to going into the your short-term options. But yeah, I think as long as you explain it, but I think everyone in New Zealand's on board with what's actually happening in the market right now.
Exactly. Actually, I was speaking with a candidate earlier this week, and she had kind of built her career. She'd moved up through recruitment and then expanded that into general HR, and that's the direction she wants to go. But within this market, she kind of had to lean on her recruitment side, even though that's not what she wanted to focus on or didn't want to be pigeonholed in that area. But when suddenly a redundancy comes through and you've got to secure something now, it's the best option. But yeah, again, it's about being able to overcome that, or it is an easy explanation into why you've taken that path. As you say, people understand the circumstances in the market this year.
Definitely. One extra thing I'll just add in there, sorry. I think also one of the things that we ask in the interviews, or I always really enjoy hearing about, is people's career journeys. So, and sometimes people have the natural pathway up, and then other times people have they've done customer service, and then they've gone to HR, and then they've actually moved over to marketing, or whatever it kind of is in terms of their career path. And I think sometimes these opportunities do come from these moments now. So it might be that you get exposure to a different area that you find that you've actually got a passion for, and you'll be networking with other people. So when the jobs do start coming, it might be within that business as well, that you do get those opportunities. So I do think it's a great opportunity to, if you can, get something short term, because I know that some of the temp roles might not be as prominent as they were last year as well, but I do think that there's some great opportunities that can come from it.
Excellent. And of course, our temporary and contracting team leader couldn't resist the opportunity to give a plug for contract work at the end there. Peter and 𝐸𝐸, do you have anything to add on the impact that cost of living is having on both job seekers and hiring managers' decisions this year?
I think similar to what Kirsty said, a lot of people I've been talking to as well are just facing, you know, that reality of they need to put food on the table and just pay their bills. So, you know, you often feel bad for them, but on an employer's perspective, you know that some of those people will take that job for now, and then once the market picks up and they get an offer back at their normal salary, you know, it'll be stupid for them to not take that on. So it's a really difficult time. So I think if we could just, you know, continue our candidate experience and just talking to people and helping each other, you know, hopefully we're hoping the market will pick back up and we'll be back thriving.
Excellent. And I guess that kind of a key message there as well is not to burn your bridges. So think about, you know, you got to think about what's best for you, but the way that you do it is really important as well. So think about those long-term prospects. Okay, so we asked, do you think that Kiwi workers should make more of a fuss over their working conditions? The people have spoken, a resounding almost 86% said yes, absolutely we should. It would be interesting to know what the situation is. Why do we need to make more of a fuss? And I guess it's one of those tricky markets where maybe people are quiet, keeping quiet, but might not be so happy with their work situation or conditions, but want to secure the role that they have in this kind of climate. But as always, please put through your comments. I'd love to discuss them further. Okay, let's see what we're asking this week. If your workplace was offered a 4-day work week, would you opt in? So yeah, really over the last few years, 3 or 4 years, there's been more prominence in talking about and trialing the 4-day work week. Let's see if it's something that you think could work for you. That is it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'd love to see you back here next week. See you then.